Words echoed in my mind like thunder as I stood frozen in the doorway of our living room. I had warned her, over and over, but she brushed off every caution as if my concerns were trivial. Today, that dismissal had exploded into consequences she could never take back. The morning had begun innocuously enough. I woke at 6:15, made coffee, checked my messages, and ready for work. Nothing felt unusual. Our apartment smelled faintly of her lavender lotion, the sunlight filtering softly through the blinds, and the soft hum of the city outside was the same as every weekday. I kissed her on the cheek as I left, and she waved absent-mindedly, already engrossed in her phone. I had tried to warn her about the situation months ago, but she laughed it off, calling me overly cautious. "Relax," she said. "Nothing bad will happen. Stop worrying." I nodded, forcing a smile, swallowing my instinctive unease, convincing myself that perhaps I was the anxious one. But today, that complacency would cost her dearly. By mid-afternoon, messages and notifications had piled up, each one a small jolt in the back of my mind, reminding me that something was off. She was late picking up groceries, texting vague excuses, and dodging my calls. I brushed it off as forgetfulness at first. Everyone has a busy day. But then, the first warning sign arrived. A delivery slip left at our door, addressed to someone else. Not strange enough to panic. Yet the unease deepened. When she walked in that evening, the air between us was heavy. She moved quickly, setting down bags without meeting my eyes. I could sense the tension, the kind that refuses to be smoothed over by casual conversation. "Hey, everything okay?" I asked lightly, trying to keep my voice steady. "Yeah, fine," she muttered, forcing a smile that didn't reach her eyes. But I noticed it, the slight tremor in her hand as she unpacked the groceries, the way she kept glancing at her phone, as if it held secrets too heavy to voice. Dinner was quiet, filled with the clatter of utensils and the soft hum of the refrigerator. I tried again. "You're acting distracted. Did something happen today?" Her laugh was short, almost forced. "No, just a long day," she said, avoiding my gaze. I pressed, subtly, calmly, like a diver easing deeper into murky water, trying to understand the current beneath the surface. "Are you sure? You can tell me if something's wrong." Her phone buzzed, cutting the tension into a sharp, electric edge. She froze mid-reach, hesitation clear on her face. My pulse quickened. Instinct screamed that this was the moment I had feared. I took the phone gently but firmly from her hand. A message glowed on the screen. "Can't wait to see you tonight. I know you feel it too." The words hit like ice. My stomach sank. Everything I had feared, every warning I had given, crystallized in that single text. "Who is this?" My voice was steady, but beneath it, a controlled storm raged. She froze, eyes wide, searching for an escape that didn't exist. It's nothing. No, I want the truth. Everything." The confession spilled out in fragments, whispers and apologies, but it was too late for explanations. I already understood. She had ignored my warnings, and now we were standing at the edge of a chasm with no bridge. Anger, betrayal, and heartbreak collided inside me, yet beneath all of it, there was a strange clarity. I wasn't just hurt, I was finally awake. She had chosen her path, disregarded my concerns, and now the consequences were unavoidable. I listened as she tried to rationalize, to downplay, to explain that it was a moment of weakness. But actions speak louder than excuses. Months of carelessness and defiance had led to this. I had tried to guide, to warn, to protect, not for her, but for us. But she had disregarded every attempt at reason. I let her words flow without interruption, cataloging each lie, each omission, each betrayal. By the time she had finished, the room was thick with silence. My mind was clear, painfully precise in what needed to happen next. "We need to talk," I said finally, my voice calm but unyielding. She looked at me, searching my face for softness, for the familiar warmth of the man she had known for years. There was none. "I'm listening," she said, though the tremor in her voice betrayed the fear she tried to hide. I took a deep breath, gathering every ounce of restraint I possessed. You made choices that you knew I warned against. You ignored them. And now, we are facing the consequences. There is no undoing this. Her eyes filled with tears, panic spreading across her face. Please, you don't mean... Yes, I do, but not out of anger or revenge. Out of clarity. Out of necessity. I could see her try and process, to find a way to soften the inevitability. But there was none. The trust that had been the foundation of our relationship had been shattered by her disregard, and nothing could rebuild it overnight. As the night wore on, I documented everything. Texts, calls, inconsistencies, and hidden truths. Each piece of evidence a mirror reflecting the choices she had made, the path she had chosen. She had ignored the signs, dismissed the warnings, and now there was no turning back. By the end of the evening, a cold, undeniable truth settled over us. The past could not be undone. She could regret, she could cry, she could apologize, but the consequences were irreversible. Actions have weight, and her choices had tipped the scales beyond repair. I stood in the living room, listening to the quiet hum of the city outside, and felt an unfamiliar sense of peace. The chaos, the deception, the lies, all was now visible, undeniable. I had warned her, and she had chosen to ignore it. Now, all that remained was to face the outcome, with honesty, integrity, and resolve. The night ended not with shouting, nor with tears of manipulation, but with a sober recognition of reality. She had learned the hardest lesson of all. When warnings go unheeded, regret comes too late to undo the damage. And as I watched her retreat to the bedroom, I knew one thing for certain. My life would no longer be defined by her choices. The path forward was mine to claim, unclouded by deception, manipulation, or neglect.